How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. What if I told you your success in life depends more on how you deal with people than how smart or skilled you are? Think about it. The most brilliant minds often fail, not because they lack talent, but because they lack the ability to win others over. On the other hand, people with average intelligence but excellent people skills rise to the top, get promoted, build strong relationships, and live more fulfilling lives. In a world obsessed with qualifications and technical know-how, it's easy to forget the truth. Human connection is everything. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, a young salesman named Jim had a product no one wanted to buy. He knew his pitch inside and out, memorized every detail, and rehearsed like a professional. But every door he knocked, people shut him down. Frustrated, Jim gave up. Meanwhile, his colleague Susan, with less experience, became the top salesperson. Why? Susan didn't just talk. She listened. She complimented. She remembered people's names. She smiled. She made people feel important. And because of that, people bought from her. Not the product, but her. That was the turning point for Jim, who later discovered Dale Carnegie's classic How to Win Friends and Influence People. And everything changed. This book is not just a guide, it's a manual for living. Written in 1936, Dale Carnegie's masterpiece has sold over 30 million copies and continues to change lives nearly a century later. Carnegie was born into poverty, yet his teachings have empowered generations of leaders, entrepreneurs, teachers, parents, and everyday people to win the hearts of others. He didn't just teach how to make friends, he taught how to make others feel seen, heard, valued. And that, in today's noisy, distracted digital world, might be the most powerful skill of all. Why does this book still matter in this age? Because while technology has advanced, people haven't changed. We still crave connection. We still want to feel understood, appreciated, respected. In a time where conversations happen through screens and relationships are often shallow, Carnegie's principles are more urgent than ever. They remind us how to be human, how to truly connect. Whether you're networking at an event, negotiating a raise, or talking to your spouse, these timeless lessons will give you the edge that no resume or certification can. Carnegie's wisdom is simple but profound. He teaches that we influence others not by forcing, but by understanding, not by shouting louder, but by listening better. His core message? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you master that, doors open, opportunities follow, relationships deepen, your world changes. So what can you expect from this video? Over the next hour, we'll break down the life-changing strategies that have helped millions win friends and influence people. You'll learn how to handle criticism without losing your cool, how to make people instantly like you, and how to change someone's behavior without triggering defensiveness. These are not manipulation tactics. They're rooted in empathy, respect, and genuine human connection. You'll discover why remembering someone's name can be more powerful than any business card, why a sincere compliment can heal wounds deeper than time, why a simple "I'm sorry" can restore broken trust, and why sometimes saying less actually says more. We'll walk through the stories, examples, and action steps so you can start practicing these principles today. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Let's be real. Most people struggle with relationships. Whether it's dealing with a difficult boss, an ungrateful friend, or a distant partner, we all face moments where communication breaks down. This book gives you the tools to rebuild those bridges, to lead without intimidation, to influence without manipulation, and to become the kind of person others want to be around. here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a deeper understanding of how human nature works and how you can use that knowledge to create more meaningful, successful relationships in every area of your life. You'll be equipped not just with theory, but with actionable skills to apply in real-world situations, starting today. This isn't about being fake or trying to impress. It's about being real and learning to express yourself in a way that draws people in instead of pushing them away. It's about understanding that we all have insecurities, dreams, fears, and that when you speak to someone's heart, you'll earn their trust, their loyalty, and their respect. So before we begin, ask yourself, who are the people you admire most? Chances are, they're not just intelligent or talented, they know how to make others feel special. They know how to handle people well. They've probably mastered the principles you're about to learn. And you can too. And here's something powerful to remember. Success in life is 15% professional skill and 85% people skill. That's not just a motivational quote. It's a reality proven in workplaces, marriages, communities, and friendships. If you can win people, you can win anything. That's what this book and this video is all about. Stick with me to the end, and I'll also share a free download. The Dale Carnegie Daily Practice Sheet. A tool you can use every day to apply these principles and track your growth. This is your roadmap to better communication, deeper influence, and lasting success. So take a deep breath, clear your distractions, and lean in. Because what you're about to learn has the power to transform your life, not through magic, but through the ancient art of understanding people. Welcome to the ultimate guide to how to win friends and influence people. Let's begin. The core philosophy. What is the real secret to human connection? According to Dale Carnegie, it's not superior intellect or perfect words. It's not charisma or confidence or even charm. At the heart of all meaningful influence lies one universal truth. People are driven by a deep, unrelenting desire to feel important. This idea is the central pillar of Carnegie's timeless teachings. If you understand this, you unlock the code to influence. If you ignore it, no matter how smart or well-meaning you are, you'll struggle to connect. Every human being carries around an invisible sign that reads, "Make me feel important." That's not about flattery or manipulation. It's about genuine recognition. Carnegie didn't invent this principle. He simply observed it, codified it, and showed how it applies in every facet of life. Whether you're leading a team, comforting a friend, or serving a customer, the person in front of you wants to matter. And when you make them feel that way, authentically, you build bridges that can't be broken. The shift Carnegie asks us to make is both simple and radical. Move from ego to empathy. Most people operate with a mindset of, how can I get others to like me, help me, or admire me? But Carnegie flips the script. How can I make others feel liked, helped, and admired? The moment you make this shift from self-centered to other-focused, you change how people respond to you. You stop trying to impress, and you start to express interest, and that alone makes you magnetic. One of Carnegie's most powerful insights is this. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. In a world where most people are waiting for their turn to speak, the rare individual who actually listens, who actually cares, becomes unforgettable. This philosophy requires humility. It means letting go of the need to always be right. It means dropping the need to dominate a conversation or win an argument. And it means choosing curiosity over criticism. When someone feels heard, seen, and valued in your presence, they naturally trust you, like you, and want to follow your lead. That's influence. Think about the most influential people in your life. Odds are, they weren't the loudest or most opinionated. They were the ones who made you feel like you mattered. That's the true currency of leadership, making others feel significant, not small. Now here's a challenge for you. Reflect on how you make people feel on a daily basis. Not how much you impress them with your accomplishments. Not how many followers or titles you have, but how you make them feel. Do people feel uplifted after spending time with you? Do they feel heard, valued, respected? Or do they feel ignored, rushed, or judged? This kind of self-reflection is at the heart of Carnegie's philosophy. He invites us to step into the shoes of others, to see the world from their perspective. Before emotional intelligence had a name, Carnegie was teaching it. He understood that success isn't about knowing all the answers, but about relating to people in a way that brings out the best in them. He told the story of Charles Schwab, the steel magnate who made millions, not because he was the most technically skilled, but because he mastered the art of making others feel important. Schwab praised more than he criticized. He encouraged more than he corrected. And as a result, people wanted to work for him, follow him, and succeed for him. That's the kind of influence that creates movements. The mistake many of us make is believing we need to be impressive to be influential. But influence is not about being impressive. It's about being interested. It's about noticing what matters to others and showing that you care. In conversations, it means listening more than speaking. In leadership, it means giving credit instead of taking it. In relationships, it means focusing on what you can give, not just what you can get. Carnegie didn't promise quick fixes or tricks. He offered timeless truths. He taught that the greatest gift you can give someone is sincere appreciation, that a smile is a powerful tool, that remembering someone's name is a sign of respect. These aren't just social niceties. They're life-changing principles when practiced consistently. In our fast-paced, digital-first world, where likes and comments have replaced real connection, Carnegie's message rings louder than ever. Slow down. Look people in the eye. Ask them about their lives. Compliment their strengths. Understand their struggles. Make them feel important. Not because you want something from them, but because you see their inherent worth. This isn't just about being nice. It's about being wise. The person who understands others always has the upper hand in any interaction. Not because they manipulate, but because they cooperate. Not because they dominate, but because they elevate. That's the kind of leader the world needs more of. So remember, at the core of every great relationship, every successful interaction, and every moment of true connection lies one powerful idea. People want to feel important. Make that your mission. Adopt that mindset. Practice it in your family, your friendships, and your work. And you'll not only win friends, you'll win hearts, loyalty, and influence that lasts a lifetime. Part 1. Fundamental Techniques in Handling People. Human interaction is the bedrock of all success. Whether you're building a business, nurturing a relationship, or navigating daily life, your ability to deal with people determines the quality of your results. Dale Carnegie identified 3 fundamental techniques that form the foundation of all successful human interaction. They're simple, but when practiced, they can transform your relationships and increase your influence dramatically. Principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. When you criticize someone, you trigger their defensiveness. They don't hear your message, they hear an attack. As Carnegie wrote, criticism is futile because it puts a person on the defensive and usually makes them strive to justify themselves. Abraham Lincoln once severely criticized a general during the Civil War. It backfired so badly that he swore never to condemn publicly again. He later wrote, "Don't criticize them. They are just what we would be under similar circumstances." Think of how much smoother conversations go when you withhold judgment. A manager who resists the urge to scold an employee and instead asks, "How can we solve this together?" opens the door to cooperation. In relationships, saying, "You never listen to me," invites a wall, but saying, "I feel unheard sometimes. Can we talk about that?" invites understanding. Try this. Go an entire day without criticizing anyone. Not your coworker, not your partner, not even the driver who cut you off. It will be harder than you think. But with practice, you become the kind of person others feel safe around. And safety is the soil where respect and influence grow. Principle 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Appreciation is one of the deepest human cravings. Carnegie said it plainly. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. This isn't about flattery. Flattery is insincere and manipulative. People can smell it, but sincere appreciation touches the heart. It says, "I see you. I value you." Take the story of Charles Schwab, the steel magnate. He once said, "I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among my people the greatest asset I possess, and the way to develop the best that is in a person is by appreciation and encouragement." In one factory, productivity soared not because workers were paid more, but because Schwab made a habit of walking the floor and thanking people for their efforts. A simple, "You're doing great work" from a boss can boost morale more than a pay raise. A heartfelt, "I love how thoughtful you are" in a relationship can renew closeness instantly. Want to start today? Think of 3 people in your life who deserve appreciation. Tell them. Be specific. "Thank you for staying late to help me finish the report. It meant a lot," is more powerful than a generic "thanks." Principle 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. People are not motivated by your desires. They are motivated by their own. Carnegie said, "The only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it." This principle asks you to step into another person's shoes. Want someone to help you? Show them how helping benefits them. Want your kids to do their homework? Frame it in terms of their dreams. Finishing this helps you become the pilot you want to be. Think of a salesperson. The poor one lists features. This laptop has 8 gigabytes RAM, a 512 gigabyte SSD. The great one listens first. You mentioned you travel a lot and need speed. This laptop boots in 5 seconds and is light enough to carry on a plane. Frank Betker, a struggling insurance salesman, tripled his income by simply asking clients what mattered to them. Once he learned their goals, he tailored his pitch accordingly. He stopped selling policies and started selling peace of mind. In your own life, make it a habit to ask, "What does this person want? How can I help them get it?" Even in disagreements, this reframing builds bridges. Let's find a solution that works for both of us, turns a conflict into a collaboration. Real-life applications of each principle. In the workplace, imagine a manager addressing an underperforming employee. The ineffective route? You keep missing deadlines. This isn't acceptable. The Carnegie way? I know you're capable, and I want to help you succeed here. Can we talk about what's been getting in the way? In relationships, a partner who constantly feels neglected might say, "You never have time for me." That leads to defensiveness. But if they say, "I miss spending time with you, and I love when we connect deeply," they arouse an eager want in the other to respond. In negotiations, instead of stating what you want, ask questions. What would make this deal a win for you? That openness invites trust and creates synergy. Role play and practice tips. To bring these principles to life, try role-playing them. With a friend or in your mind, imagine scenarios. Your coworker missed a deadline. Instead of criticizing, say, "I know you had a lot going on. How can I support you to meet future timelines?" Your partner forgot your anniversary. Instead of complaining, say, "It really matters to me when we celebrate our time together. Let's do something special this weekend." Your team resists a new initiative. Instead of pushing, say, "This could make your work easier and more impactful. How do you see it fitting into what you do best?" Each of these turns potential conflict into connection. Each reinforces the key idea. Influence begins with understanding. Dale Carnegie's 3 fundamental techniques are not tricks. They are principles grounded in truth. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Arouse in the other person an eager want. Master these, and you master the art of human connection. These aren't just rules for getting along. They are tools for transforming how people experience you, at home, at work, and in life. Try them today, and watch the change begin. Part 2. 6 ways to make people like you. Imagine walking into a room full of strangers and knowing exactly how to connect, build rapport, and leave a lasting impression. That's the promise behind Dale Carnegie's 6 principles for making people like you. These aren't manipulative tricks. They're grounded in sincerity, empathy, and a true understanding of human nature. Follow them with heart, and you'll see your relationships transform. At work, at home, and everywhere in between. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Carnegie begins with a powerful truth. People love to talk about themselves. And more than that, they love people who love to hear them talk about themselves. The fastest way to gain someone's affection is to show a genuine interest in their life, their story, and their passions. When you approach a conversation with curiosity, not an agenda, you invite openness. Ask questions about their family, hobbies, or dreams. Don't just nod politely. Lean in, engage, follow up. Whether it's your colleague's latest project, your friend's favorite band, or a stranger's travel story, show them you care. And mean it. Carnegie tells the story of a dinner guest who said barely a word the entire night, just listened. By the end of the meal, his host declared him the most interesting conversationalist I've ever met. That's the power of interest. Principle 2. Smile. It sounds simple, even trivial. But a genuine smile is a universal language. It signals warmth, openness, and approachability. It puts people at ease. And in a world full of stress and seriousness, it's a rare and welcome gesture. Carnegie reminds us that a smile isn't just about looking friendly, it's about being friendly. You don't smile to impress. You smile because you're glad to see someone, because you appreciate them, or because joy is part of who you are. The key is sincerity. Try it. The next time you enter a room, smile. Really smile at people. Watch how their energy shifts. Watch how they open up. A smile costs nothing, but its returns are priceless. Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language. Names matter. They represent identity, history, and belonging. Using someone's name tells them, "I see you. You matter." When Carnegie spoke to business leaders, he found one thing in common. They all made it a point to remember and use people's names. That personal touch built loyalty and connection. If you struggle with remembering names, make it a mission to improve. Repeat the name when you hear it. Write it down. Associate it with an image. Whatever it takes, make that person feel known. In a world where people often feel invisible, using their name is a small gesture that speaks volumes. Principle 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Most people don't really listen. They wait for their turn to speak. Carnegie flipped that mindset. He taught that being a great listener is more valuable than being a great talker. When you listen well, you communicate empathy. You make others feel understood, and you gain insight into what matters to them. Encourage them with prompts like, "Tell me more. What happened next? How did that make you feel?" Let them talk. Don't interrupt. Don't rush. Just listen. In conversations, resist the urge to bring everything back to you. If someone shares their success, celebrate them. Don't one-up them. If someone shares their pain, offer presence. Don't fix them. Great listeners aren't just liked, they're trusted. And trust is the foundation of every strong relationship. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Want to connect fast? Talk about what excites the other person. Everyone has passions: books, music, sports, family, hobbies. Find out what those are and dive in. Carnegie told the story of a man who couldn't get a call back from a busy executive. But once he mentioned the executive's prized stamp collection, he got an immediate appointment. Why? Because he tapped into something personal and meaningful. This principle is about empathy in action. It's about stepping into their world, even if it's unfamiliar. When you show enthusiasm for what they love, you show respect for who they are. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. This final principle ties all the others together. At our core, we all crave significance. When you meet that need in others, genuinely, not as a tactic, you become unforgettable. Find ways to uplift people, compliment their strengths, recognize their efforts, say thank you, celebrate their victories, and mean every word. Carnegie warned against flattery. It's fake and transparent. But honest appreciation? That's gold. People can sense the difference. Remember, you're not doing this to be liked. You're doing it because every human being deserves to feel seen, heard, and valued. Interactive challenge. Practice and reflect. Now it's your turn. This week, commit to practicing these 6 principles. 1. Show genuine interest in someone you interact with daily. 2. Smile more, especially when greeting others. 3. Learn and use at least 3 new people's names. 4. Listen deeply in every conversation. Resist the urge to interrupt or shift focus. 5. Ask about someone's hobbies or interests, and talk about that instead of yourself. 6. Give at least one sincere compliment each day. Grab a journal and write down what you notice. How do people respond? How do you feel? Are your conversations warmer? Are your connections deeper? This is more than a communication strategy. It's a way of life. Dale Carnegie didn't just give us techniques, he gave us a philosophy. Treat people well, and they'll treat you better. Value them, and they'll value you. Love them, and they'll love you back. Start practicing today. You'll be amazed at how your world changes when you make people feel truly seen and sincerely appreciated. Part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. What if you could persuade others without arguing, fighting, or manipulating? Dale Carnegie teaches us that the highest form of influence is gentle, respectful persuasion rooted in empathy and understanding. In this part, we explore 12 timeless principles that help you lead people to your point of view, while keeping the relationship intact. These ideas don't just win debates, they win hearts. Principle 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Arguments rarely change minds. In fact, they usually harden positions. Carnegie reminds us that even if you win an argument, you might lose the relationship. The better path is dialogue, not debate. Avoiding conflict doesn't mean avoiding truth. It means choosing timing, tone, and empathy to resolve differences constructively. Principle 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong." Telling someone they're wrong puts them on the defensive and blocks productive conversation. Instead, use phrases like, "I see your point," or "That's an interesting perspective." Respect builds bridges. Disrespect burns them. Principle 3. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. There's power in humility. When you admit your mistakes honestly, you disarm opposition and gain respect. People are more forgiving than we think, especially when we own our faults instead of hiding them. Principle 4. Begin in a friendly way. Your first few words set the tone for everything else. A kind tone, a smile, or a warm greeting can soften even the hardest hearts. Begin with friendliness, and people will be more open to hearing you out. Principle 5. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Start conversations with shared agreements. When people say yes early and often, their resistance drops. This technique builds psychological momentum toward consensus. Principle 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Most people just want to be heard. When you give them space to talk, you build trust. And often, you learn what really matters to them, which helps you shape your response more effectively. Principle 7. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs. When people feel ownership over an idea, they defend and support it more passionately. Guide the conversation so that they arrive at the conclusion themselves. They'll be far more likely to act on it. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Empathy is the foundation of influence. Put yourself in their shoes. What are their fears, desires, and pressures? Understanding their perspective helps you respond in a way that truly resonates. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Even if you don't agree, you can still validate their feelings. Phrases like, "I understand why you'd feel that way," show emotional intelligence and foster mutual respect. Principle 10. Appeal to nobler motives. Most people want to see themselves as kind, fair, or honorable. Remind them of their better nature. Instead of saying, "You're being selfish," say, "I know you care about fairness. I do too." That shift invites cooperation. Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. People don't respond to data alone. They respond to stories, visuals, and emotion. Make your ideas vivid and memorable. Use metaphors, analogies, or real-life examples to bring your point to life. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. People rise to challenges. If you want to motivate someone, appeal to their sense of pride or ambition. Framing your request as a challenge, rather than a command, can inspire action. Let's look at a few real-world applications. At work, instead of telling a colleague, "You're doing it wrong," try, "I see what you're trying to achieve. Have you thought about trying this approach?" Ask them to walk you through their thinking, and you'll likely find a more respectful way forward. If you need to get buy-in from your team, invite them into the brainstorming process. Let them shape the vision so they'll feel it's their own. In relationships, when a disagreement arises, resist the urge to argue. Start by acknowledging your partner's feelings. Say, "I can tell this really matters to you." Then, share your perspective in a calm, friendly tone. When you admit fault quickly and sincerely, conflicts dissolve faster. In negotiation, begin with shared goals. Use friendly language. Say, "We both want a good outcome here. Let's figure out how to get there. Encourage the other party to speak first, and listen closely to what they value. Frame your proposal in terms of their interests. Exercises and challenges. 1. The empathy mirror. Choose someone you often disagree with. Spend one day actively listening to them and try to see their point of view without judgment. 2. The respect reset. For 1 week, replace every "you're wrong" with a respectful response like, "That's a perspective I hadn't considered." 3. The humility habit. Practice admitting your mistakes out loud, even small ones. Notice how others respond. 4. The story spark. The next time you present an idea, dramatize it. Use a story or vivid metaphor to illustrate your point. 5. The friendly launch. Begin each serious conversation with a smile and a friendly phrase like, "Hey, I appreciate your time on this." Carnegie's principles aren't manipulations. They're expressions of wisdom and respect. They work because they honor human dignity. In today's world, where online arguments rage and real conversation is rare, these ideas are more essential than ever. Master them, and you won't just win people to your way of thinking. You'll win their trust and loyalty too. Coming up next, how to lead people without causing resentment. The secrets of effective leadership from Carnegie's final section. Part 4. Be a leader. Lead with encouragement, not criticism. Leadership is not about commanding or controlling others. It is about inspiring, motivating, and guiding people to be their best selves. Dale Carnegie's timeless principles remind us that real influence comes not from harsh criticism or blunt commands, but from gentle encouragement and sincere appreciation. In this part, we explore 9 core leadership principles that can transform how you lead, whether in the workplace, at home, or in your community. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Before you point out a mistake or offer correction, start with genuine praise. People crave recognition, and even the smallest acknowledgement can open their hearts and minds. Imagine a manager who begins a performance review by highlighting strengths and improvements before discussing challenges. This approach disarms defensiveness and builds rapport. For example, if an employee missed a deadline, rather than launching into criticism, you might say, "I really appreciate your creativity and the extra hours you've put in on this project. I know you care about quality." This honest appreciation shows respect and makes it easier for the employee to accept constructive feedback. Principle 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. No one likes to be publicly called out or scolded. Carnegie teaches that pointing out faults indirectly saves pride and prevents resentment. Instead of bluntly saying, "You're wrong," try phrasing that encourages reflection without offense. For instance, a teacher might say to a student, "I wonder if there's another way to look at this problem," rather than, "Your answer is incorrect." By inviting the person to discover the mistake themselves, you preserve dignity and promote learning. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. One of the most powerful ways to soften criticism is to admit your own errors first. This creates humility and shows you're not placing yourself above others. For example, a team leader could say, "I've made mistakes in how I communicated before, and I'm working to improve. Let's see how we can tackle this together." This shared vulnerability encourages openness and cooperation. Principle 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Direct commands can cause resistance. Instead, asking questions invites participation and respects autonomy. Imagine a parent who asks, "What do you think would be a good way to finish your homework on time?" rather than ordering, "Do your homework now." Questions stimulate critical thinking and foster a sense of responsibility. Principle 5. Let the other person save face. Everyone wants to feel valued and respected, especially when they've made a mistake. Helping others save face means avoiding humiliation or embarrassment. For example, if a colleague made a wrong decision, you might say, "I see where you were coming from," before suggesting an alternative. This preserves their self-respect and keeps the relationship positive. Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Consistent encouragement is a catalyst for growth. Carnegie emphasizes praising even small progress, as it builds momentum and confidence. Consider a manager who says, "I noticed you handled that client call better than last week. Great job." Such reinforcement motivates people to keep improving. Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. People strive to live up to the expectations others set for them. By giving someone a positive reputation, you inspire them to maintain or enhance it. For instance, a coach might say, "You're one of the most dependable players on this team." This positive label encourages responsibility and pride. Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the faults seem easy to correct. When addressing faults, frame them as challenges that can be overcome with effort, not as insurmountable flaws. Instead of saying, "You always miss deadlines," say, "I'm confident you can manage your time better. Let's work on it together." This hopeful tone empowers the person to improve without feeling defeated. Principle 9. Make the other person happy about doing what you suggest. Leadership isn't about forcing compliance. It's about making people want to follow. Show how your suggestions benefit them or align with their goals. For example, a manager might say, "By improving your presentation skills, you'll increase your chances for that promotion you've been aiming for." When people see personal value, they are more motivated and engaged. These principles are not relics of a bygone era. They apply just as much today, whether you're a parent, manager, teacher, or community leader. In parenting, praising your child's efforts and asking thoughtful questions builds confidence and cooperation rather than rebellion. In management, indirect correction and sincere appreciation foster team loyalty and productivity. In teaching, encouraging students and helping them save face creates an environment where learning thrives. In today's fast-paced and often stressful world, leaders who wield criticism harshly risk alienating those they lead. But those who lead with empathy, respect, and encouragement create lasting influence and deep loyalty. Carnegie's leadership principles invite us to cultivate patience, humility, and genuine care as the foundation of effective leadership. Practical application tips. 1. Daily praise journal. Each day, write down at least one sincere compliment or appreciation for someone in your life. Observe how it changes your relationships. 2. Indirect feedback practice. Next time you need to address a mistake, try to frame it indirectly and see how the person responds. 3. Self-disclosure. Share a recent mistake you made before giving feedback to a team member or family member. 4th, question-driven leadership. Replace direct commands with open-ended questions to foster ownership and creativity. 5. Encouragement. Role play. Practice encouraging someone about a fault by making it sound easy to fix. By embracing these principles, you become the kind of leader who not only achieves goals, but also builds people up along the way. You'll inspire others to grow, to follow you willingly, and to create environments where success is shared. Remember, true leadership is a gift given freely through kindness and respect, not through force or fear. Modern applications using Carnegie's principles in today's digital and real world. Dale Carnegie's insights were born in a pre-digital era, yet their power and relevance have only grown in today's fast-paced, interconnected world. Whether you're interacting on social media, writing emails, networking in person, building relationships, or growing a business, Carnegie's timeless principles offer a secret formula for influence and connection that transcends time and technology. Let's explore how these lessons can be applied in our modern lives. Social media, being likable and influential online. Social media is arguably the biggest stage for human interaction today. Yet, it's also one of the hardest places to create genuine connections. With millions scrolling quickly through content, standing out requires more than flashy headlines or viral memes. It requires sincerity, empathy, and respect for others. Carnegie's core idea, making others feel important, applies perfectly here. How often do you engage with people's posts by commenting thoughtfully or expressing genuine appreciation? A like is easy, but a meaningful comment or a share signals that you value someone's content and ideas. For example, instead of just liking a friend's new job announcement, you might say, "Congratulations! I've always admired your dedication. Excited to see where this takes you." This kind of engagement fosters real connections and encourages reciprocity. Avoid criticism or complaining in public forums. It damages your reputation and rarely changes opinions. Instead, practice Carnegie's advice by responding with kindness and understanding, even when you disagree. Above all, smile with your words, use positive language and uplifting content to make your audience feel good about themselves. The digital world may lack physical cues like facial expressions, but your tone still shines through in your writing. Email etiquette. Winning tone, appreciation, and clarity. Emails are the backbone of modern communication, especially in professional settings. But they can easily be misunderstood because of the lack of tone, facial expression, and immediate feedback. Applying Carnegie's principles to emails can transform your communication. Start with appreciation. Before diving into requests or corrections, thank the person sincerely. "Thank you for your quick response," or "I appreciate your effort on this project," sets a collaborative tone. Be clear and respectful. Avoid harsh or ambiguous language. Instead of, "You didn't include the report," say, "Could you please send the report when convenient?" Keep the tone warm. Use polite greetings and closings. Even a simple, "Hope you're doing well," adds a human touch. Encourage and motivate. If you need changes, frame them as improvements, not failures. "This looks great so far. Could we tweak this section to better highlight your main points?" When you show appreciation and communicate respectfully, recipients are more likely to respond positively, collaborate willingly, and see you as a trustworthy partner. Networking events and interviews. Applying Carnegie Live. Networking events and interviews can feel intimidating, but Carnegie's principles give you a roadmap to stand out and build meaningful connections. Become genuinely interested. Instead of worrying about how you're perceived, focus on the other person. Ask questions about their work, interests, or challenges. People love to talk about themselves when they feel heard. Smile and make eye contact. These simple actions build instant rapport and warmth. Remember names. In busy events, remembering and using names signals respect and attention to detail. Be a good listener. Encourage the other person to share by asking open-ended questions. Avoid interrupting or turning the conversation back to yourself too soon. Talk in terms of their interests. Frame your skills or offers in a way that connects to what matters most to them. Make them feel important. Express appreciation for their time and insights genuinely. Imagine you're at a networking event. Instead of launching into your pitch, you ask, "What inspired you to enter this field?" Or, "What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now?" You listen actively and respond with empathy. This approach creates rapport far more effectively than aggressive self-promotion. In interviews, framing your answers with respect and enthusiasm, admitting mistakes or weaknesses honestly, and showing interest in the company's goals demonstrates both humility and confidence. Relationships, from dating to parenting. Carnegie's principles aren't just for business. They are the foundation of all human relationships. Whether you're dating, parenting, or nurturing friendships, making others feel important and appreciated changes everything. In dating, genuine interest and sincere compliments are more attractive than rehearsed lines or superficial charm. Instead of focusing on impressing, focus on understanding your partner's dreams, fears, and values. Parenting especially benefits from these principles. Praising even small improvements encourages children to grow and learn. Instead of scolding mistakes, ask questions and encourage solutions. This builds confidence and trust. For example, when a child struggles with homework, instead of saying, "You didn't do this right," say, "I know this is tricky. What part do you want to work on together?" This encourages collaboration and self-esteem. In friendships, listening actively and remembering details about your friends' lives, like their favorite hobbies or upcoming events, shows you care deeply. Simple gestures of appreciation maintain bonds even when life gets busy. Business and entrepreneurship. Carnegie as a secret sales weapon. In business, Dale Carnegie's principles are a powerful competitive advantage. Salespeople who master these techniques don't just sell products, they sell trust and build lasting relationships. Don't criticize or complain. Customers don't want to be blamed or pressured. Instead, listen to their needs with empathy. Give honest appreciation. Recognize customers' intelligence and decision-making. "I see you've done your research. That's impressive." Arouse eager wants. Frame your product or service as a solution to their specific desires, not just a generic pitch. Become genuinely interested. Ask questions to understand what matters most to your client. Smile, remember names, and make people feel important. These simple courtesies set you apart in competitive markets. Entrepreneurs who build relationships on these foundations often find their network expanding organically. Word of mouth grows because people feel valued, not sold to. Even in negotiations, Carnegie's techniques help find win-win solutions. Respecting the other party's opinions, admitting when you're wrong, and appealing to nobler motives create an atmosphere of trust and cooperation. In a world overwhelmed with noise, distractions, and superficial connections, Dale Carnegie's principles provide a timeless blueprint for authentic influence. Whether online or offline, in emails or in person, in professional settings or personal relationships, the secret to winning hearts and minds remains the same. Make people feel important, and do it sincerely. By applying these lessons in the modern context, you not only enhance your likability and influence, but also create deeper, more meaningful human connections that enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Real-life transformations. The true power of Dale Carnegie's teachings lies not only in the ideas themselves, but in the profound transformations they inspire. Across different industries, cultures, and generations, countless people have applied Carnegie's principles to become more confident, influential, and successful. These stories demonstrate that people skills are more than just nice to have. They are a force multiplier that enhances every other talent and effort. Some of the world's most legendary leaders openly credit Carnegie's teachings as essential to their achievements. Warren Buffett, widely regarded as one of the greatest investors in history, has often spoken about the importance of communication and human connection in his career. Despite his extraordinary technical skill, Buffett knew that building trust and influencing others was critical to his success. Early on, he took a Dale Carnegie course to overcome shyness and improve his public speaking, understanding that connecting with people would open doors that raw intellect alone could not. Similarly, Lee Iacocca, the CEO who revitalized Chrysler in the 1980s, credited Carnegie's principles for much of his leadership success. Iacocca's ability to motivate teams and foster loyalty stemmed from his genuine interest in others, his sincere appreciation, and his skill in making people feel important. His open-door management style reflected these lessons, showing how effective leadership is less about authority and more about empathy and encouragement. Beyond famous figures, the impact of Carnegie's teachings is evident in everyday lives. Take Michael, a university student who was painfully shy and hesitant to speak up. Despite his intellectual potential, his lack of confidence held him back. After enrolling in a Dale Carnegie communication course, Michael began practicing small but powerful habits, speaking in groups, offering genuine compliments, and listening attentively. Over time, he shifted his focus from worrying about himself to being genuinely interested in others. This change eased his anxiety and built his confidence, turning him from a quiet observer into a respected leader on campus. Another vivid example comes from the sales world. Jessica, a mid-level salesperson, found herself stuck despite selling a good product. Her transactional style didn't build lasting relationships, and her sales stagnated. After learning Carnegie-inspired techniques, she changed her approach by asking more about clients' needs, listening actively, and sincerely appreciating her customers. She began remembering names and connecting on a personal level. The result? Her clients trusted her more, returned repeatedly, and referred others. Within a year, Jessica's income doubled, not because she had a better product, but because she had learned to build genuine relationships. On a personal note, I recall early in my career struggling to get others on board with my ideas. My technical skills were solid, but I lacked the ability to influence and inspire. As I studied Carnegie's teachings and applied them, listening more, appreciating others' efforts, and seeking to understand their perspectives, everything changed. People became more willing to collaborate, support, and trust me. I realized that people skills didn't just help in communication. They amplified every other ability I had. This mindset shift opened doors and multiplied my impact in ways I hadn't imagined. What all these stories share is a common theme. Mastering people skills doesn't just make you a better communicator, it makes you more effective in every part of life. These skills open doors to opportunities, build trust and loyalty, enhance leadership, reduce conflict, and create positive environments where people thrive. Whether in business, education, arts, or technology, the ability to connect deeply with others accelerates success far beyond technical knowledge or hard skills alone. As Dale Carnegie famously said, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." This simple but profound truth encapsulates why these principles work. Genuine interest and empathy create bonds that influence, inspire, and endure. In conclusion, Dale Carnegie's principles are not just theoretical concepts, but practical, proven tools for transformation. The stories of renowned investors, CEOs, students, salespeople, and everyday individuals who have embraced these lessons demonstrate that anyone can become more confident, influential, and fulfilled by making others feel genuinely important. If you are ready to transform your own life, start by shifting your focus outward. Make it your mission to sincerely appreciate and connect with those around you. This mindset shift is the gateway to unlocking relationships, opportunities, and personal growth beyond what you might have thought possible. Finally, as we wrap up this deep dive into Dale Carnegie's transformative teachings, it's important to take a moment to reflect on the incredible value these principles offer. We began by understanding the core philosophy, that people have an innate desire to feel important, and that true influence comes from genuine empathy rather than ego. Then, we explored the fundamental techniques for handling people, avoiding criticism, offering sincere appreciation, and awakening an eager want in others. We learned how these simple shifts can dramatically improve our relationships, whether at work or at home. Next, we uncovered 6 powerful ways to make people like you, from showing genuine interest and smiling to remembering names and being great listeners. We also discussed how to win people to your way of thinking through persuasion without conflict, emphasizing respect, understanding, and friendly engagement. Finally, we examined leadership, how real leaders inspire, encourage, and guide others without resorting to criticism or commands. All of these lessons together form a toolkit for personal and professional success. Skills that not only help you get along with others, but also elevate your influence, build trust, and open doors to opportunities you might never have imagined. These principles aren't just theories. They are proven strategies that have transformed the lives of some of the world's greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and everyday people alike. Now, here's the most important truth. You already have everything you need to change your life. The skills to connect, inspire, and lead are not locked behind some secret door. They are inside you right now. The moment you decide to change how you relate to others, you begin a journey toward greater confidence, deeper relationships, and a more fulfilling life. It's a choice, simple in concept, but powerful in impact. So here's your final challenge. Pick one principle from everything we've covered today. Maybe it's the habit of showing sincere appreciation. Maybe it's the commitment to listen more and talk less. Maybe it's the courage to avoid criticism and focus on encouragement. Whatever it is, commit to practicing it every day for the next week. Observe closely what happens. Notice how people respond. Pay attention to how your own mindset shifts. You might be surprised by how quickly small changes in how you treat others can ripple outward, transforming your relationships and your life. Remember, lasting change rarely happens overnight. It is the small, consistent acts of kindness, interest, and respect that build the foundation for true influence. This is your chance to take that first step, to start practicing these timeless principles that have stood the test of decades and will continue to guide you long into the future. If you found value in this video, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future content designed to empower your personal growth and success. Like this video if you believe in the power of human connection. And most importantly, share it with someone who could benefit from learning these principles. Let's spread this positive ripple effect together. I'd also love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me which lesson resonated most with you and what principle you've chosen to practice this week. Sharing your journey can inspire others and create a community of learners all committed to becoming better, more connected human beings. To close, remember this. Every great relationship, every successful career, and every moment of genuine influence begins with the simple act of making someone else feel important. When you embrace that truth and put it into practice, you unlock a life of meaning and success far beyond what you imagined possible. Start today, because the best time to improve your relationships and your life is now.